music.
So yeah, we'll just do a test talk, like you know, in alphabetical order. My favorite spices are allspice, basil, cinnamon. I doubt if I even like dill.
Dulce.
Dulce? What's that?
Greetings, viewers. Welcome to the Musical Health Channel. This is your host, Latif Carr, and I'm here interviewing the artists whose songs and works you've heard through the channel. He goes by the name of Brother J Love. Brother J Love, how you doing today?
I'm really good, thank you.
All right, thank you for taking the time for this interview. So, Brother J Love, why don't you tell the viewers what began your interest in music in terms of energy medicine?
Well, first and foremost, I used to work at a grocery store, and I was a cashier, so that's like basically the front line. So I would be working with coworkers and then serving customers who had these health problems all the time. They were always getting sick. They always had a cold. Their kids were always getting sick. People were missing time because they were sick. Their kids were sick. People would go home sick. I'm like, what is going on with these people? Why is everybody so sick? I'm like, if these doctors are, these hospitals and all these pharmaceuticals are doing such a great job, then why are people so sick? What is going on here? So I said, you know what? There's got to be something else to this. So I just started to say, there's got to be something to get it better. So I went and investigated a couple things. First of all, I started looking up reflexology, and something just hit me, reflexology. And I kept asking everybody, I was like, do you know what reflexology is? I said, what is that? The word just hit me. And so I printed out I went online and I printed out this map of the foot, and I was like, oh, that's different. That's what reflexology is. And then I kept asking them, like, do you know what this is? Searching for someone who knew what it was. And lo and behold, someone came through my line. She goes, I'm a reflexologist. I was like, wasn't that nice? And so, and so I took seriously one class from her, and the rest is history, basically, with that. I learned a lot in that one class, and then I started treating people after a while, and legally it's okay to treat people with reflexology because they keep all their clothes on, and it depends on the state, but the state that I was living in, it was totally legal to do it without a license, and I never call myself a reflexologist, I call myself a reflexology practitioner, so therefore I'm never claiming that I have a license or anything like that, but I'm very good at what I do. I have people who will testify to that. But at any rate, then I started learning about the sounds. I was watching this movie. It's called Esoteric Agenda. If you ever heard of that at all?
No, I haven't.
It's on. I think you may be able to find it on YouTube. You may find it online. It's called Esoteric Agenda, and the entire movie was about different conspiracies and different things that the government may or may not be doing and stuff like that, and history and all that, pieces of history that may have been omitted, so to speak, or altered. And so then I watched the whole thing through, and in the last like 20 minutes of it, this one guy on there, his name is actually Leonard Horowitz. I found out later. I never knew who his name was before, but his name was Leonard Horowitz. Have you heard of him at all?
Oh yes, I have.
Okay, Leonard Horowitz.
Quite knowledgeable.
Yeah. Okay, very knowledgeable, and he was talking about these sounds that the sounds of creation. They're called the ancient solfeggios, and they were buried in the Bible for over 2,000 years, and so on and so forth, in the Book of Numbers. And I actually did the math myself. I actually checked it out. I'll talk about that later. And it inspired me. Just showed these 6 frequencies up on the screen, for maybe 4 or 5 seconds, and it showed the wheel of sound, the wheel of perfect sound, and it was called Yah's wheel of perfect sound. Yah, Y-A-H, for Yahweh. Yah's wheel of perfect sound. And I said, what is this solfeggio stuff? What is that? And I just went online. I went on YouTube, and I looked at this video, and it said 396. That was the first frequency I heard. 396 hertz. And it played, and I sat there, and my body kind of shook, and in my mind, I said, whoa, I'm back. That's what I said to myself in my head. I said, whoa, I'm back. And then after that, my whole life changed. Straight up. I was never the same. Because it changed me, at a different level, I guess.
Would you say it altered your emotions, your emotional state, your mental state?
I would definitely say it altered my mental state. Like my brain started working differently. I started thinking differently, and also because I had quit using fluoride toothpaste many years before that, and I quit drinking fluoridated water as well. And anyone that wants to learn about that, I definitely recommend that look up about fluoride and its toxicity, and from where it comes, it's never from what I've learned, it's nothing even close to a pharmaceutical grade product what we're getting in our water and our toothpaste. So I'm just leaving that to your viewers to look it up for yourself. Definitely check it out. The book is called The Flouride Deception by Christopher Bryson. It's an excellent book. It's probably actually the last book that I've read from front to back, and that was in 2006, and this is 2020. So it's been that long since I've had enough interest to read a book, front to back, because I just fall asleep usually when I read a book. I'm just like a canary, put a cover over me and fall asleep. But anyway, yeah, I would definitely say it changed my emotional state, my mental state, and I started sharing these things with people, and they thought it was kind of weird. Like, what is this? Why do you listen to these dial tones? Some people call them. You listen to dial tones all day, and I'm like, I guess so, yeah, and I kind of like it. But then I started finding out about that I could change. I mean, what he talked about in the video was that the musicians could tune their instruments to these frequencies, and so I said, well, I could be that one day. And so then I got my hands on a guitar, and I did that, and it was like I never even played guitar before, and actually I refused to play the guitar because I found out about the 440 hertz pitch and how detrimental it is to our cellular structure and into our physical and mental health.
And the DNA?
And our DNA. Yeah, our DNA structure. Like, everything is dependent on frequencies. And the sound is a frequency, as is light, too. As we're sitting here right now, we're sitting under an LED light versus a fluorescent light. And you were asking if I could turn on the overhead light, and I said no, because
no.
this room we're in has an overhead light and it's fluorescent, and I said I will have zero to do with that. Fluorescent is a whole other frequency, and it also makes us a little bit crazy. If you know why, you ever wonder why people kind of go crazy in stores, is because that lighting, it flickers really fast, and it messes up our brain function as well. So that's why it's bad to be in stores for a long time. And I really feel for the workers there too. I used to be one of those, and working in those stores, I would definitely say I was going quite mad, working for 6 to 8 hours on end, and in overnight too. Forget about it. Talk about crazy, throwing your biorhythmic clock off, plus being under those lights. So another story for another time. Going off track here.
But it is harmful for the vision. Yeah, that is true as well.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. But when it comes to the frequency, I picked the guitar up and I started making some music. I never even knew how to make chords or anything. What I would do, I would cheat. I would just tune the guitar to four different notes, and it was C, E, G, and B, and those are all in a chord with one another. They're on the same chord. And so I thought I was playing music, and I was making music, but it was nothing where any musician would say, "Oh yeah, that's great music." It was just something where I was just getting my cutting my teeth on it basically. And I do have, I think I have a little bit of that on your channel as well with Froggy Night, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Froggy Night is one of those. It's just me playing guitar, hardly knowing anything about it. I was just going in on it and just see what would happen. And so I started tuning to the solfeggios, and everything just kind of just happened. And like, I would never be the same if it weren't for discovering this stuff.
Wow, that's quite a story. So why don't you tell the viewers how you started learning about the auto harp? Was it along the lines of the guitar, or was it later?
It was later. After about, I would say, I got my first guitar in 2015 from friends of mine in the Tacoma area, and I'll leave them anonymous because I'm pretty sure they'd rather, keep their names out of people's mouths. So we'll just do that. Right. But very good friends of mine, near and dear friends of mine, we're still friends to this day, and they had this little parlor guitar, and they said, "Oh, here, have the guitar." So I took it and I tuned it and did the thing. But then I got the auto harp, which is what's playing right now. If you can hear the music at all, that's the auto harp playing right now. And it's a beautiful, beautiful instrument. And I will say from whom I got it from our late friend Marie. She's near and dear to all of us. She's gone, passed on now. She's doing her work on the other side. Marie Little Wolf, and we met in Redding, California, and we in 2012. And we've been friends ever since. And she passed on from complications from brain cancer, and the treatments therein, there was just too much for her to handle, and she decided to transition. And we miss her. And she left this auto harp in her storage unit. Yeah, it was in her storage unit. And her son, my friend John, he said, "Dude, just take it. It's yours. Have it. She would want you to have this." And I was like, "What, really?" He said, "Yeah, man, just take it. It was just sitting here collecting dust." And so can I get it?
Yes.
So
yes,
he brings this thing out. It's in styrofoam at the time. I have a case for it now, thanks to another generous person. But I'll step back a little bit.
Yes, you could do that.
And
that way. Actually, can you step back a little bit more, or so the viewers will be able to do it? Yeah, it's better if you stand. That way they'll be able to see.
Okay, see it now?
Could you stand?
Stand? Okay.
Yeah.
See it now?
Yeah.
Okay.
That way the viewers will have.
So I can do like lip sync.
Yes, you can.
No. But anyway,
I'll do it well.
Yeah, but anyway, I'll turn the music down. So
no problem.
So you can actually hear what this is different tuning right here. So I picked this up and I tuned it and I just started playing it and I turned an instrument into a healing tool, basically. So I can tune this to anything. It's just like a piano. It's got it's got strings on it like a piano would have, and hammer hits the strings, kind of the same thing. So like that. But it's got, I think I counted 32 strings, and it is painstaking to tune this. It's beautiful, but it takes a while. I mean, sometimes it takes about an hour to tune this properly.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yes, it does. And so what I did, I just tuned it earlier today, and I tuned it. I can tune this to anything. Everything has a frequency, right? So even the organs. So I looked on this website, and it's called Luminati.com. Not Illuminati, but Luminati. And we'll put a link to that later on on your page,
sure,
if you don't mind.
Sure.
But it's really neat. They sell tuning forks and other healing equipment and stuff like that. So anyway, it has these lists of different frequencies on this page, and I was like, well, organs, like that sounds like fun. And I've done it before. I have some recordings also. I'll share with you later for the adrenals, the thyroid, and one other organ that they're all the same frequency. I think it's the pancreas. But at any rate, what I did is I just tuned it, and I sent you this track earlier. I played it earlier. This is tuned to the liver. And I figured I should do it for the liver because right now, the state of the world and the country, people, I think, are very quite agitated, more easily agitated than ever before. They're very sensitive, so I said, the liver holds on to a lot of toxic energy in our bodies, so this will help the liver to purge itself. That's what I feel anyway.
One of the most vital organs.
It is. True. You can't spell liver without live.
This is true.
All right. So, would you want me to just play it a little bit or something, or just?
If you don't mind giving a little demo.
Oh, do I? Never mind. Okay, well, I'll just start off with this.
Awesome.
Just a little something, but yeah, and it feels wonderful, like to hear it, like because all the strings, they all have different frequencies. Of course, those shorter ones have a higher one, and longer ones have a lower frequency. But to hear them all together, I'm gonna just do it really quick for the camera. One time, we'll just do this. I call it a hum because that's what it sounds like when it's doing it. So. And it just goes on. And sometimes in my healing sessions, I'll play it for people, and I'll play it on them. like when I do a sound healing session, I'll play it on them, and it just feels, from what I've heard, I've felt it a few times, but I heard it feels fabulous
Wow.
to have it played on oneself, like on your stomach or your back. And yeah, I'll probably do it for you when it's all said and done here. But yeah,
So with the auto harp, how long have you been healing others or helping them to heal?
basically since I got it. I mean, I tuned it, and I'd say since 2016. I just, I got it in April 2016. I think it was a little bit right before my birthday, and I just tuned it and just been using it ever since.
Wow.
Quite faithfully too. Like typically whenever I do a sound healing session or even a chakra balancing session, I'll use that either in the beginning and or the end. Yeah, like because usually the people they're on their either on your back or your stomach, and either way, like when you're on your back, I'll play it on your stomach, and when you're on your stomach, I'll play it on your back, that kind of thing, and it gives a whole different effect depending on how it's tuned. Yeah,
I see.
hmm
I see. Where are some of the usual ailments or that the auto harp has helped with from when you were using it? Like, what are some of the problems people have?
Typically it's emotional stuff.
Emotional.
Typically it's emotional, and a lot of times also back pain. Back pain and headaches. Yeah.
So it can help with physical aspects.
Without a doubt, because it's all connected. The emotional is connected to the physical. So whenever we sew up an emotional trouble, the physical trouble seems to go away with it, or vice versa. When there's an emotional problem, it typically has a physical ailment attached to it. Typically, when someone's stressed out, they typically have like a stomach ache or a headache, you know. And when they're overwhelmed, typically they have a backache, that kind of thing, because or their shoulders hurt because they're carrying too much, too much emotional weight.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. I also noticed that you have the tuning pipes. Would you mind showing a couple of those?
No, not at all. Let me see. I will get a couple. I'll get out the first two that I actually heard was 396 and 528. Those are my favorite go-to guys. Okay, they're right here.
All right.
That's one of them.
And where those are made out of the pipes?
Aluminium.
Okay.
Yeah, they're made of aluminium. And so what I do is just hang them up, and actually, you can give them a link to me doing this on my page if you wanted to, whatever you want to do.
Oh, of course.
But I have one of the tracks that I made. I put there's 9 of these. This is 2, but there's 9 altogether.
All right.
9 solfeggios altogether. 9 basic solfeggios anyway. There's actually more in between, and that's a whole other story for another time. It's a lot. It's a lot because they have it's a lot. There's just a lot, and they do different things. But these 2 right here are the most important to me because one of them helps to deal with. Should I move this chair?
All right.
Helps to deal with emotional grief and turning it into joy, and the other one has to deal with transformation and DNA repair. So that's what it is. This is 396 hertz. This long one right here, and that's for liberation of fear and guilt from the consciousness, or like I said, in short terms, it'd be from grief to joy. And then 528 is this one, and it's been actually scientifically proven that 528 hertz heals DNA. And so put those 2 together. I said it also helps to do with transformation as well. Transformation from within. People think, oh, transform. You think you're going to turn into a turtle or something? No, it's different from that. Transformation it's a spiritual, mental thing that happens on the inside. And then if you change on the inside, then the outside looks different, so to speak.
Sort of a means of transmuting energy.
Yes.
So for whatever you change will manifest itself from within.
Correct. And also, what Leonard Horowitz had said too. He said, "Is the sounds of miracles, transformation, and so on and so forth." But that's what the 528 does. It's known to encourage miracles to happen. Like people say, "Well, do you make miracles happen?" No, I encourage miracles to happen because we can all make miracles with our own minds, our hearts. But this will definitely help take the extra step. And I've seen some things happen with people. I've seen people have these awesome emotional upheavals when they've heard just the 528, and it's just like I said. Let's just get to it. Let's just hear it.
Sure.
Okay. We're gonna do 396 first because that's the first one I heard. Ready?
Sure.
And we'll do the 528. And then my favorite is together. I never explained this either.
Mm-hmm.
This is a G, and this is a C. So C and G together, if anyone out there knows about music theory, C and G are the perfect fifth. They are the perfect fifth. And I'll show you why.
All right.
And let's show them this. Let's show your viewers how it sounds when it's played next to someone. So if you don't mind.
Sure. I won't mind.
It sounds differently when versus playing it, on in front of nothing, and then behind. I'll play it behind you. I'll play it in front of you also.
Okay.
Yeah, just turn around. Yeah.
All right. Hopefully you can see me,
Yeah,
viewers.
I can see you. I can see you. Ready?
All right.
Go around front. And now hold out your hands, boss. Let's do one more, and just try to turn them just kind of like this. See that?
Like that.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. All right. So like holding a ball.
Precisely. Bring a little closer together. There you go. One more?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One more. Why not?
Yeah.
I can definitely feel the difference.
There you go, sir.
Thanks very much.
You're welcome very much.
Thank you for the treatment.
You're welcome. And one for the doctor?
Need a little assistance with that?
Huh? Oh my. That's like this. Excuse me. Wow. Whoa. Wow, yeah.
That's quite something. That's quite a phenomenon.
Yeah, it takes you to another place. I definitely would say that takes me to a different place. Sometimes when I'm working with people with these, I get really relaxed. I almost pass out a few times. Seriously, I'm I had to sit down for a minute. Like, whoa. Yeah, but yeah, there's like I said, there's 9 of these, and they're wonderful. And if people want to get them, I definitely recommend getting some. If you want to just get one to start off with, you can do that. They cost about $35 a piece.
35. Okay.
You can find them on eBay. They're called solfeggio tuning pipes. I know you can find them on tuningforkshopspro.com. It's an Indian company. The only place they make these in the world is in India. For for some reason, I'm uncertain what it is, but I think whatever they're doing over there in India with these things, thank you, because these are wonderful. They do have some that are made out of steel, but the sound never carries as much because steel is too heavy.
It's not the same.
No, it's hardly the same. So they make them out of the aluminum, works way better. But so there's a set of 6 they have, and they also have sometimes they'll sell them in pairs, and then otherwise they'll sell in the set of 9. I just recommend just if you got $225 to spare, get the set of 9 and pay the shipping on top of it. They may give you free shipping, who knows? But it's worth it. Usually you can get them on the buy now, or you can get them, on the auction, whatever it is. But I got mine I think for about anywhere between $230 and $250, and they're worth every penny. They never need batteries. You never need to clean them. You just give them a nice little ting, hold them up, and they do their thing.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So, out of the songs that you've created, how many in total do you believe that you've created so far, just off the top of your head?
Oh my God, I'd say at least 80.
Yeah.
At least 80, yeah. Published wise, I've only published 2 albums professionally, so that's only like 26 songs maybe, but I have definitely made over 80 songs easily.
Yeah. Excellent. I also understand that you work with crystals as well.
All day, every day.
I've seen that you've created those amulets. They're quite awesome.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, really? Yeah, it's definitely an amulet. My gosh, the Angel Aura Quartz is second to none. It's an awesome stone, and what it is, it's quartz that's bonded with silver and platinum, and they put it in a vacuum, and they heat it to 1600 degrees, and they spray the vapor of the metals in there, and it adheres to it, and it becomes this wonderful iridescent rainbow color. And there's titanium aura quartz, there's ruby aura quartz, there's sunset aura quartz, there's champagne aura quartz, there's aqua aura quartz, so many different just the aura quartzes on their own are amazing. But yeah, this is what I do. It's part of what I do. I make jewelry also, but when I started making jewelry, it was a hot mess comparatively. I mean, but once again, I can attribute the sounds, all the frequencies and stuff that I've been listening to contribute to the difference in the jewelry that I make. So it all ties in together, and the crystals also help too. And the crystals have their frequency, and the sounds have their frequencies, and essential oils and everything has its frequency.
Because energy is everything, and everything is energy, right?
Yes. My link will be at the bottom of the page. The Etsy page is awesome, where you can contact me directly. Either way, but really good stuff. Or once again, if you get inspired, make your own jewelry. This is hardly a business ploy. I definitely like to enhance people's lives, and all the music that I have on my YouTube page is free. I have music for sale, but first and foremost, I like to give it away for free because I feel that it's a gift and it should be given.
Awesome. Do you have any words of inspiration for those who are trying to pursue a particular endeavor, career, but feel frustrated or discouraged? Any words of advice?
I would definitely say just trust in yourself, and also never let others sway you from doing what you feel that you should do, because once you stop being yourself, you're lost.
Absolutely. Well, Brother J Love, I thank you once again for taking the time for this interview, and it's been a pleasure speaking with you. It's a pleasure having to know you as well.
Thank you. Well, likewise, much appreciated.
Okay. Once again, viewers, this is Latif Carr with the Musical Health Channel. Thank you for watching this video, and please stay tuned. There is more to come. If you enjoyed this interview, please give it a like, and please be sure to subscribe to our channel. We are looking forward to sharing more with you, so have a good one, and we'll see you soon.